Imagine a world without shivers, no chattering teeth, no desperate huddle for warmth. For most of us, stepping into minus 40 degrees Celsius would be a fight for survival. Your body would scream in protest, your very core would start to shut down. But what if I told you there's a man who walks into that same lethal cold as if it were a mild spring day? He doesn't just endure it, he seems to completely ignore it. This isn't a story from a comic book or a legend whispered by old explorers. This is a real person, a living anomaly who has a relationship with extreme cold that defies what we knew about human endurance. He literally laughs in the face of the planet's most brutal temperatures. Scientists and survival experts like myself are utterly fascinated. What are the true limits of the human body? Are we all capable of unlocking such resilience? Or is this a 1 in a billion genetic lottery? These are campfire tale stories but backed by witnesses and scientific observation. He has climbed snow-covered mountains wearing nothing but shorts. He has sat calmly in ice baths for periods that would induce severe hypothermia in anyone else. His reality challenges our understanding of what it means to be human. Surviving with gear and training is one thing, being seemingly immune is another. In the wild, the cold is a relentless enemy. It seeps into your bones, it drains your energy, it clouds your judgment. The man at the heart of this incredible mystery is Liam Finnegan, though many have come to know him by his fitting nickname, Frostbite Finnegan. Born and raised in a small, windswept village on the coast of Newfoundland, Canada, Liam grew up surrounded by the raw, untamed power of the North Atlantic. His childhood was not one of coddling or comfort, it was a life of harsh winds, icy ocean spray, and winters that could freeze the soul. But from a very young age it was clear that Liam was different. While other kids would be bundled up in layers of wool and down, complaining about the biting cold, Liam would be out and about, seemingly oblivious to the frigid temperatures that kept everyone else indoors. His family first noticed his unusual trait when he was just a boy. His mother tells a story of him at age 6, falling through the ice of a frozen pond near their home. A terrifying moment for any parent. When they pulled him out, soaked and shivering, they rushed him inside expecting the worst. But within minutes, his shivering stopped. He wasn't blue, he wasn't even complaining. He simply asked for a hot chocolate and then wanted to go back out to play. It was the first of many incidents that set him apart, painting a picture of a boy who was built from a different kind of blueprint than the rest of us. One of the most documented events took place in the Yukon Territory during a scientific expedition. The team was studying Arctic wildlife with temperatures consistently plummeting to minus 40 degrees Celsius. While the researchers were clad in state-of-the-art thermal gear looking like astronauts on a frozen planet, Liam accompanied them wearing little more than hiking shorts, fleece vest. He would stand perfectly still for an hour at a time observing wolf packs, his skin exposed to the lethal air. The scientists, monitoring his core body temperature with portable sensors, watched their readings in stunned silence. It barely dropped. Another incredible story comes from his hometown in Newfoundland. Every year on New Year's Day, a local group organizes a polar bear plunge into the frigid Atlantic Ocean. For most, it's a frantic dash in and out of the water, a shock to the system that lasts a few seconds. For Liam, it's a leisurely swim. On one particularly icy year, with ice floes dotting the harbor, Liam didn't just jump in. He swam out 100 meters, floated on his back amidst the slushy ice for nearly 30 minutes, and then swam back to shore. He emerged not with the purple, blotchy skin of a person on the verge of hypothermia, but with a healthy pink glow, as if he'd just stepped out of a lukewarm bath. Perhaps his most audacious feat was his solo ascent of a formidable peak in the Canadian Rockies in mid-January. He told his friends he was going for a light hike. He packed no tent, no sleeping bag, and only minimal food. His chosen attire for the multi-day trek was shorts boots. The first and most prominent theory points to a unique genetic mutation. Researchers believe Liam may possess a rare variation in genes that regulate body temperature and cold perception. They are looking at genes controlling ion channels in sensory neurons. TRPM8, the cold and menthol receptor. A mutation here could mean his nerves don't send the "it's cold" signal the same way, or perhaps they don't send it at all. Another fascinating area is his metabolism, brown adipose tissue or brown fat. Microscopic view, glowing brown fat cells versus inert white fat cells. White fat stores calories. Brown fat burns calories to generate heat. Most adults have little brown fat. Infants have more to stay warm. Scientists speculate Liam may have unusually high or exceptionally efficient brown fat. Cold exposure might kickstart this internal furnace. That would generate heat and keep his core temperature stable, eliminating the need for shivering, the body's inefficient last resort. Beyond genes and fat is adaptation and conditioning like Wim Hof. Wim Hof method, specific breathing techniques. Wim Hof method, cold exposure. Wim Hof method, meditation. These practices can influence the autonomic nervous system. Liam never trained formally, but lifelong cold in Newfoundland could be intense natural conditioning from birth. To truly grasp how extraordinary Liam Finnegan is, you have to compare his abilities to an ordinary person's response to extreme cold. For the average human, exposure to -40 degrees Celsius is a code red emergency. Within seconds, your skin temperature would plummet. The blood vessels in your extremities would constrict dramatically. Vasoconstriction. Your fingers, your toes, your nose, your ears. This pulls blood away from the surface to protect the core. Fingers and toes go numb fast. The body is sacrificing them for the greater good. As exposure continues, the average person would begin to shiver uncontrollably. Not a twitch, powerful, exhausting muscle contractions to generate heat, but it's a losing battle. Speech slurs, movements get clumsy. This is the onset of hypothermia. Core temp normally about 37 degrees Celsius, 98.6 Fahrenheit. It starts to drop. Once it falls below 35 degrees Celsius, or 95 degrees Fahrenheit, you are in mild hypothermia. Confusion and poor judgment set in. You might even start feeling warm. Paradoxical undressing, where victims of hypothermia begin removing their clothes, hastening their own demise. In contrast, Liam Finnegan's body seems to follow a different set of rules. When exposed to -40 degrees Celsius, his peripheral blood vessels do not appear to constrict as severely. His skin remains surprisingly warm to the touch, indicating circulation still flows to his extremities. The human body is an incredible machine, and its fight against the cold is a fascinating, multi-layered war. When you step out into a freezing environment, a whole cascade of defense mechanisms kicks in, most of them completely without your conscious knowledge. One of the first soldiers on the front line is the erector pili muscles. These are tiny muscles attached to each hair follicle. When they contract, they cause your hair to stand on end, creating what we call goosebumps. In our furry ancestors, this would have fluffed up their coat, trapping a layer of air for insulation. For us mostly hairless humans, it's a largely useless evolutionary relic, a ghost of a defense from our past. Another strange and little-known response happens in your throat. Your larynx can go into a spasm in extreme cold, a condition known as laryngospasm. This is your body's primitive reflex to prevent you from inhaling dangerously cold, dry air that could damage the delicate tissues of your lungs. It can make you feel like you can't breathe for a moment, a frightening but protective reaction. Furthermore, the cold can actually make your blood thicker. As your body temperature drops, the viscosity of your blood increases, making it harder for your heart to pump it through your narrowing blood vessels. This puts a huge strain on your cardiovascular system, and is one of the hidden dangers of prolonged cold exposure. Here's a bizarre fact. You can actually get a brain freeze on parts of your body other than your head. While Liam Finnegan's genetics and physiology are clearly exceptional, we cannot ignore the profound connection between his mind and his body. In survival, your mental state is your most critical tool. Panic can be a killer long before the cold is. Liam possesses an almost supernatural calmness in situations that would cause overwhelming fear and anxiety in others. This mental fortitude is not just a personality trait, it has a direct physiological effect. When you panic, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This can lead to shallow breathing and an increased heart rate, which can actually accelerate heat loss. Liam's placid meditative state does the opposite, conserving energy and allowing his body to operate with maximum efficiency. This concept of mind over matter is the cornerstone of practices like Tummo meditation, used by Tibetan monks. Through intense concentration and specific visualization techniques, these monks can raise their body temperature significantly, enough to dry wet sheets wrapped around their bodies in freezing conditions. They are consciously controlling processes that are normally autonomic. For years, Liam Finnegan's ability has been viewed as a superpower, a remarkable gift that places him in a league of his own. The ability to withstand lethal cold without harm seems like an unmitigated blessing, especially for someone who lives in a harsh northern climate. It has saved his life on more than one occasion and has allowed him to experience the natural world in a way no one else can. In a recent, in-depth medical evaluation, doctors uncovered a startling and unexpected twist. Liam's inability to feel the cold is mirrored by a similar, though less pronounced, inability to feel heat. His sensory nerves are not just poor at detecting cold, they are generally poor at detecting temperature extremes of any kind. He can pick up a hot skillet from the stove and not realize he is burning his hand until he smells his own searing flesh. His body's warning systems, the pain and the discomfort that tell us to pull away from danger, are dangerously muted. This revelation reframes his entire story. His superpower is not an immunity to cold, but rather a profound sensory deficit. He doesn't triumph over the cold, he is simply oblivious to its presence. The story of Liam Finnegan is a powerful reminder that the world is still full of mysteries, and that the limits of human potential are far from being fully mapped. He is a living paradox, a man whose greatest strength is born from a profound weakness, a survivor whose body operates on a completely different set of rules. His existence challenges us to look again at our relationship with the environment, with our bodies, with the invisible powers that lie dormant within us all. Is he a genetic fluke, a product of extreme conditioning, or proof that the mind can truly command the body? Perhaps he's all three. This journey into the cold with Liam leaves us with a lingering question. If one person can possess such an extraordinary ability, what other hidden potentials are locked away in the human genome? What other superpowers are waiting to be discovered, not in the pages of fiction, but in real people living among us? Liam's story is not just about a man who doesn't get cold. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible stories from the edge of human endurance, and share your thoughts in the comments below. The wild is calling. Always be ready.